chapter 22, text 28 to 30. If devotees would like to read,
Vasudha Mataji, please read the shloka, Shubha Mataji, the translation, and Kripa Mai Mataji, the purport. Hare Krishna.
we'll
Hare
read.
Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Atmanam indriyatam cha param yat ubayorapi satyasaya upadhau vai puman pasyati nan yada. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhujis and Matajis. Synonymous translation purport by S.B. Bhakti Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. When the soul exists for sense gratification, he creates different desires, and for that reason he becomes subjected to designations. But when one is in the transcendental position, he is no longer interested in anything except fulfilling the desires of the Lord. Hari Bol. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hari Krishna.
We can skip the purport and go to the next verse, please.
Kripa Mai Mataji, please read the shloka.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, Mataji.
Thank
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Nimiti Sati Sarvatra Jalada Api Purushaha Atmanaha Sa Parasyati Vidam Pasyati Nan Yada. Thank you, Mataji.
Meenakshi Mataji, please read the translation.
Hare Krishna. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Only because of different causes does a person see a difference between himself and others. Just as one sees the reflection of a body appearing differently manifested on water and oil or in a mirror. Hare Krishna Prabhuji and Mataji and us.
We can go to the next verse.
Divya Mataji, you can read the shloka and the translation. Okay, Namita Mataji can read the shloka and the translation.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji and Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Indriyer Visaya Kristar Aksipatam Dhyayatam Mana Chetanam Harate Buddhe Stambhastoyam Iva Radat. Translation by Srila
Namita
Prabhupada.
Mataji, Krishnamurti Prabhu can read the translation, please. He is also using his mic. Yeah, thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
When translation by A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada ki Jai. When one's mind and senses are attracted to sense objects for enjoyment, the mind becomes agitated. As a result of continually thinking of sense objects, one's real consciousness almost becomes lost. Like the water in a lake that is gradually sucked up by the big grass on its bank. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So, Om Ajnanatirmirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So here Srila Prabhupada is explaining on these verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, explaining about how sense gratification leads to different desires, material desires. And as a result of that, one becomes attached to the bodily concept of life and to different designations. And these desires are very much deep rooted in our consciousness. From because of sense gratification, from a long time, Srila Prabhupada says, time immemorial, we are habituated to sense gratification, and which has made us attached to this bodily concept of life. And as we perform sense gratification, our consciousness gets polluted, the real consciousness. Sometimes people think, oh, I am a devotee, I don't compete with God. I am God's servant or the servant of the servant. But if we actually analyze every act of sense gratification is actually claiming to be a competitor of God. I am the enjoyer. That's what we are saying. By performing any act of sense gratification, selfish for ourselves. But it's very difficult to control those urges unless we are surrendered to the lotus feet of Guru and Krishna. And unless following their instructions, we are very meticulous in our sadhana in chanting the holy names of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. But many of us, sometimes we feel, hey, I have been chanting for so long. As I'm chanting, I'm told that these dust from the mirror of the mind is taken away. But I've been chanting, and it's not going anywhere. I have not had experienced any taste for chanting still. So there is a story of the bamboo tree, where there is a special type of Chinese bamboo where the farmer comes and sows the seed. Once he sows the seed, he comes and waters the seed. Every day, day after day, he keeps watering the seed. but nothing comes out. 1 week, 1 month, 6 months, nothing. You just keep watering. Sometimes they forget where did they sow the seed because there's no sign of any life. And so they have to mark it. This is where I exactly sowed the seed. And they keep watering, watering. 6 months they keep watering without any results. I forget whether it's 6 months or 6 years. But then, after that stipulated amount of time, it springs up in 10 days, a huge bamboo tree in 10 days. Now, the farmer could have given up. Hey, there's nothing, putting water, there's nothing coming up. But actually, as he was watering the seed in that place, the bamboo was growing inside the ground. And it was growing inside the ground so that it can support the rapid growth within 10 days above the ground. That's what happens in our bhakti as well. When we are chanting the holy names, we think there's nothing, I don't see any bhakti lata beej is there, but I don't see any bhakti lata. I don't see any creeper of bhakti, devotional service. But it's growing its roots inside to support that growth later. So we should not be disappointed, disheartened. If we are not seeing any result while chanting, we must continue with the same enthusiasm, with the same patience, and continue enthusiastically with determination doing our japa, our chanting of the holy names, while abstaining from sense gratification. Otherwise, sense gratification leads to destruction. It is said the 5 senses, the eyes, the ears, the nose, the tongue, the skin, these are destructions to hell. Sharira vidyaja jodendriya tahekal. Jodendriya, all the indriyas, all these senses lead us to death. We see that a moth is attracted by the dancing flame and jumps because of that attraction of the eyes. It jumps straight into the flame and burns. That's how the eyes can take us to destruction. Similarly, nose. The musk deer is a special kind of deer. When it runs, it actually secretes the musk fragrance. And as it is walking, as the musk deer walks, little sweat comes out, and those sweat secretes that musk smell, and this deer is intoxicated with that smell. Hey, where's this wonderful smell coming from? Ignorant of the fact that it's coming from himself. And so it starts running a little more, and more fragrance starts secreting. And so it thinks, oh, I'm running faster. The smell is becoming more and more prominent. that means it's nearby. The source of that smell is very near, and it starts running faster and faster and faster, thinking, I've just reached it, I've just reached it, all the while not understanding that it's coming from himself. And the more he sweats, more the fragrance increases, and it keeps running whole life and dies. So the nose, the smell, takes us to destruction in this way. The skin takes us to destruction. The example is the elephant. It's very difficult to catch an elephant. How do you actually catch the elephant? It's so huge. You can't go near it. So the hunters, they employ a female elephant. This female elephant goes and touches the male elephant and runs. It's trained that way. And the male elephant runs after, intoxicated by the touch of the female elephant, runs after the female elephant. Female elephant takes the male elephant to a path where there's a huge hole that is dug in the ground, covered by creepers. And the female elephant is trained to bypass that huge hole that's dug. But the male elephant, completely intoxicated, goes down the hole, which is covered by the creepers, but it goes down. And now if it's in a ditch, it cannot come up. And that's how the elephant is caught. So the skin takes us to destruction. The sense gratification of skin. Sense gratification of the ear is, we know how many times the deers, the hunters, they go and they actually make a lot of sound. And the deer, hearing those sound, runs away from that sound. And these hunters are actually trying to trap. Slowly they come from other sides and then they trap the deer. So by ears, the deer gets trapped. Or even if you see snakes, snakes are charmed by the snake charmer's bugle or bean. Similarly, the sense of tongue, of taste by the tongue. A fish is caught by the fishing rod, and at the end of the fishing rod there is an insect that's attached to it. As soon as the fish gets attracted by the insect and tries to take a bite, it gets stuck into the fishing rod and the fisherman pulls it up. So by these different senses, we take us to destruction, Jodendriya Tahikal. And if we engage in sense gratification or are not very, very careful, then that leads us to bodily identity. Starts us to think, oh, I am these senses, I am this body, I am this mind. And the illusion perpetuates this way. We have 8 shifting identities in this life, especially if we are bodily, if we identify ourselves as the body. These shifting identities is, I am the body, I am the spouse of someone else, that's the second one. These are my children, these are the extensions of my body. This is an illusion. Children are actually individual souls meant to go back home, back to Godhead, serve Krishna. We identify with our home, we identify with our vehicle, we identify with our social circle, we identify with the money, we identify with our career, or influence. And so these are the 8 designations that we identify with. In any change in these identities causes anxiety or fear. If our body starts undergoing changes, we become fearful. What's going on? I'm growing old, or developing a disease, or something of that sort. Anxiety. If our spouse, we identify so much with our spouse, not just our body, but the body of our spouse as well. And if there is a change in that, because we identify so much, there's anxiety, there is fear. Of course, we must be faithful and to our spouse, and the marriage is till death do us part. But uh, if we do not have a spiritual basis to that, and only think that, oh, this is just a bodily relationship, it'll cause anxiety or fear. Children, any change in the situation with the children causes anxiety and fear. We think they are the extension of our body. Home, we identify with our home so much. Anytime any change in the home has to be done, we feel, oh my God, where am I going to stay? What's going to happen? There's anxiety, there's fear. We identify with our vehicle. Sometimes if we have to sell our vehicle, it becomes very painful. Our social circle, our friends, we identify with our friends, and sometimes because of life situations, if we have to change our friend circle, or if our friend circle um, abandons us, then we get anxiety or fear. Who's going to support me? I don't have any friend circle now. I'm in a completely new place. Money, if there's a change in our bank balance, there's anxiety. If it reduces, definitely there's anxiety. But if it increases, there's anxiety. How am I gonna save this? Someone is gonna take it away from me. And the 8th identity is career or influence. If there's any change in career, that's a big identity shift. We identify with the company we work with our business. We identify with the influence that we have in this world. And if there's any shift in that identity, there is anxiety or fear. So in order to be resilient, we must identify with the permanent, non-changing soul. I am the soul, part and parcel of Krishna. That builds resilience through the changes. Otherwise, all these changes in these shifting identities will cause anxiety or fear. If we have to rise above that, we must identify with the soul. If we continue sense gratification, we lose taste for bhajan or bhakti. We lose the enthusiasm for Krishna consciousness. Every act of selfish sense gratification leads us to lose enthusiasm in Krishna consciousness. We may still continue chanting, but there'll be no taste. Without taste, we can still continue with our determination, but it's not possible to go far. We will just give up the practice. So sense gratification can lead us to give up the practice of Krishna consciousness. Do we really want to risk that? Just for some fleeting pleasure, which is ultimately going to lead us to death and destruction? When we take darshan of the Lord, during darshan arti or mangal arti, are we having the taste for that darshan? Otherwise, even Duryodhan had the darshan of Krishna, but he didn't have the eagerness, or he didn't have the taste for darshan the way Arjuna would yearn for Krishna's darshan. Duryodhan had darshan, Arjuna had darshan, but their consciousness was different. When we have darshan of Krishna, Do we just say, okay, I'm just doing a ritualistic Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami? I come in front of the Lord. Or is it there is yearning that the Lord is seeing me and I'm having darshan of the Lord as well? These are two different things. Are we having darshan of the Lord by like Duryodhan or like Arjuna? If we want to have darshan of the Lord like Arjuna, if we have to develop taste in the holy name like Srila Haridas Thakur, we must restrict our senses. Krishna consciousness and sense gratification go ill together. Many times we feel, I can do my sense gratification and I'll continue Krishna consciousness as well. Everything's fine. No one knows what I'm doing. But Krishna knows. And we lose that enthusiasm because bhakti is being the servant of the servant of servant. Sense gratification is being the master and the enjoyer of everything. How can a service attitude be compatible with enjoying attitude? So here in Srimad Bhagavatam, we are being encouraged to give up sense gratification. And we can give up sense gratification only by param drishtva nivartate, by developing a higher taste in the association of devotees, by identifying ourselves as the soul. And when we perform this tapasya of sense gratification, of restricting sense gratification, then that purity would be manifested. Restricting sense gratification and engaging senses in the service of the Lord, then the purity would be developed. Purity is the force, Srila Prabhupada would say. Then whatever we speak in Krishna consciousness would have the strength to transform people's hearts. If not for ourselves, at least to help others, we can do our sadhana properly. Because if we do our sadhana properly, we can be a sharpened instrument in the hands of the Lord to touch people's hearts. Srila Prabhupada, he came with 40 rupees in his pocket, which was about $8, but no one would convert rupees to dollars once you come here. So he was practically penniless. So one of my friends was saying, oh, I also came to US with $10 in my pocket. I said, what? I said, yeah, and now look. He said, yes, but I had about $5,000 in my credit card. So I had $10 in my pocket, but I had the credit card as well. But Srila Prabhupada came just with 40 rupees in his pocket and no credit card, no bank balance at all. Out of compassion, he wanted to be an instrument of his Guru Maharaj, of Krishna, to share his Krishna consciousness with us. So following Srila Prabhupada's footsteps, we must jare dekho tare kaho Krishna upadesh. We must preach and share our Krishna consciousness with others. But we are not doing karuna prachar. We are doing sadhana prachar. Karuna prachar is what Srila Prabhupada did out of compassion because of his being at the level of Uttam Adhikari, Madhyam Adhikari. He felt so much compassion for all the living entities. You're suffering so much, where you can actually enjoy the spiritual bliss. When we preach, we may not be preaching out of compassion. Maybe some of you may be, but if I'm not preaching out of compassion, I'm preaching because preaching is a part of my sadhana. Sharing Krishna consciousness is a part of my sadhana, because sharing Krishna consciousness increases Krishna consciousness. I'm not compassionate, but I am trying to bring Srila Prabhupada's compassion to others. Not my compassion, but Prabhupada's compassion. As a preacher, we just think ourselves of a beggar who has a bread, and he's telling others where to find more bread. I'm not the bread giver. I'm just fortunate to get some bread as a beggar. And I'm telling other beggars, you can also get the same bread. That's our mood in preaching. Not that I am the all powerful Acharya giving you my mercy. No, I'm the servant of the servant of Srila Prabhupada. Then in verse 30, it explains about um, how when one's mind and senses are attracted to the sense objects for enjoyment, the mind becomes agitated. The mind becomes distracted. So one time there were 4 monks. These monks went on a silent retreat. They went into a cave and they said, let's sit in this cave and we'll just have Mauna Vrata, silent retreat, silence. We'll not speak and we'll meditate. So they got a candle and in the cave, and they closed their eyes or half closed their eyes and started meditating, all 4 of them. And then after they started in the morning, it went the whole day. They were meditating. In the evening, there was a gush of air that came. It was night. The gush of air came, and the candle started flickering. It got extinguished. And there was total darkness in the cave. And one of the monks, he got distracted because suddenly there was a change in the lighting. And he said, "Oh, the candle went off." Oops. He broke the vow of silence. Then the second monk said, "Hey, you broke the vow of silence." Oops. He also broke the vow of silence by doing that. And the third monk said, "Stop disturbing me." Oops. He also broke the vow of silence. And then the fourth monk, he looked at all of them and said, "All of you have spoken. I did not speak." Oops. And he spoke. He broke the vow of silence as well. So all of these 4 monks, they were distracted. The first monk, he broke his vow because of distraction. Because external circumstances changed, he was distracted from his sadhana. So even us, when our external circumstances in life change, our sadhana sometimes gets affected. Our chanting gets affected. We may start thinking, oh, maybe I can take a break from chanting 16 rounds. Maybe, why is Krishna doing this to me? Well, we should avoid that. We should not fall to distraction. The second monk, what did he say? He said, "Hey, you spoke." He was more interested in the other person's, in the first monk's vow than his own vow. We are sometimes more interested in judging what other devotees are doing rather than thinking within ourselves how I should improve. And that's why our mind gets distracted. Criticism, because we are criticizing others, looking for faults in others. That distracts our mind from the bhajan sadhana. The third monk, he became angry. Why are both of you disturbing me? So anger causes that. So we should not give in to anger as a distraction for the mind. And the fourth monk said, all of you spoke, I didn't. Pride, arrogance. In Sanskrit, it's called mad. Kam, krodh, lobh, moha, mad, matsarya. Arrogance distracts our mind. So it agitates our mind. Our mind is agitated. That's why Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, we must beat our mind with brooms in the night. And after waking up, we should beat our mind with stick. And if we actually follow his instruction, it makes a lot of sense. As soon as the mind comes up with these material desires, if we imagine that our mind is a separate entity than ourselves, which it is, and we are taking broomsticks and sticks and beating it with sticks and saying, stop these desires, and then asking it to transform, say what is the right desire. Oh, such nice food that I will enjoy. Beat the mind and say, what do you say? Oh, such nice prasad sevaya. I'm serving the prasad by honoring the prasad. It's the same act, but it's the consciousness in which the mind is accepting it. So we beat the mind and train it to say the right thing and stop it from thinking the wrong consciousness. And then sometimes the mind cooperates. Sometimes the mind helps us wake up early in the morning and chant nicely. We say, well done, good mind, that's very good. That's how we train our mind. By taking Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's instructions very, very seriously. Training means to stop from doing negative, anything that harms our Krishna consciousness, and to encourage the mind when it helps us in our Krishna consciousness. And even when we stop and redirect. We don't just say, don't do this. We beat the mind, don't do this, and say, do the right thing. Think the right thing. And that's why when we are chanting our japa, it's a war going on in our minds. In that battlefield, we need the help of our acharyas. And so before we start chanting, we must prepare our mind. Okay, I am going inside my heart, into the bhajan kutir of my heart, and I'm suspending all of my activities. No other thoughts. This bhajan kutir is made up of a material that will distract all thoughts. accept the thought of chanting the holy names, of meditating on the meaning of the holy names, on hearing the holy names. When we go into the bhajan kutir of our heart, suspend our life, and once I come out of this bhajan kutir, I will pick my life from where I have left it. And we must prepare our mind during chanting, before chanting. Then our japa would be very successful, and we'll be ready to face the battlefield of Maya with the help of the acharyas, the association of devotees, Guru, and Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. If there are any questions or comments, we can take now. I'm not sure if there is enough time left, but can we have some questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Beautiful lecture, Prabhuji, and so many takeaway points, Prabhuji. Especially the statement which you made, Prabhuji, every act of sense gratification is claiming to be a competitor of God. That was such a strong statement, Prabhuji. And also when you said, how can service attitude be compatible with sense gratification attitude? That raises one question in my mind I would like to ask you, Prabhuji, but before that, I'll see if anyone else has a question. And also, Prabhuji, the age-shifting identities that we have, and you enumerated the age-shifting. This is this was new to me. I mean, in the sense, like, we know about it, but the way you enumerated it was beautiful, Prabhuji. And in that, the children as individual souls, we should see them. That's the most difficult part to follow as mother. Hopefully, we'll reach there one day. So, thank you, Prabhuji. It was a beautiful lecture, Prabhuji. Devotees, any questions, reflections? Yes, Shobha Mataji, please go ahead with your question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat
Hare
Pranams.
Krishna.
Prabhuji, thank you for the wonderful session, and I learned a lot of things from here. But Prabhuji, like you said that we should beat the mind, but that part I'm always confused, like how to do that, because every time my mind is saying that okay, you will take this prasadam because I'm cooking the bhoga according to my or my family's interests, and then there is a tendency that I have to taste this once it has been offered. So that time I'm tend to flow with the mind itself. So how should I pray, or how should I avoid that particular thing? Like what is the meaning of beat the mind? That I'm confused.
Beat the mind, yeah, that's a nice question. Beat the mind means immediately stop the mind, stop that thought, immediately block that thought and redirect it to the right way, right thought. Just blocking the thought is not enough, but redirecting it to the right thought is important, and addressing it immediately, right then. Nip it in the bud, as they say. Otherwise, if we say, oh, yeah, I thought like that, but that's okay. No one saw, no one heard what I thought. And if we let it go, it will keep developing that wrong consciousness would keep developing within ourselves unless we correct it immediately. So sometimes we may go with the thought and we may not realize. So we don't realize. But if we identify, oh, yeah, I don't think this is the right thought, we must immediately replace it with the correct thought. Immediately. That's sincerity. And that no one sees, but Krishna sees, and then he will help us progressively identify such thoughts and improve our consciousness in that way.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Kalasudha Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. Whenever we get associated with you, Prabhuji, even previous classes also, you stress on more on chanting. And yes, Prabhuji, we keep listening Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita and all. But to apply it in our daily life, we feel very challenging, Prabhu. When we come with, as 8 challenges are there, as we discussed today. And today's class, really my realization of one thing is, even though we do chanting for so many years, we struggle a lot by fighting with the material things and all. So today, really, how to apply it, and the story of that part of the Chinese bamboo thing, really, it has given a enthusiasm, Prabhu. At any cost, there will be, but it might take time. But it is working. You have shared, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. And so many teaching lessons. Every time we listen to your classes, really we trying to apply it is really very easy, Prabhu. Even chanting also, last time also you told, I think so, forget about the past, be in the present. Before chanting, if we think and start sitting, we get cutting off all the outside world, and we are going. I felt, Prabhu, really applying it. That was very easy to apply that formula. So thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Very glad that you are feeling inspired. I wish I feel more inspired by my class as well. I should hear it myself. These are Srila Prabhupada's words that we are repeating, which has the potency.
Krishnamurti Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
Dandavat Pranam.
Prabhuji, what your guide self has explained, everything is practical. So this is not a theory. So we have to implement in our personal life. As per my knowledge goes, after came to this Krishna consciousness. So I can able to visualize the thoughts which were coming from inside. I can so many times I observed that. By that time I used to say, oh, it is a foolish thing. These thoughts are of no use. Why these thoughts were coming like this? Okay, this is so it is to be punished. Yes. So it will neglect it. So that will happen to me, that I will see. So I am visualizing these things. In addition to that, while we were explaining all these things, this particularly the 8 identification of the body identifications with 8 things.
15 identifications.
So, yes, we are not the body, and the relationship with the body are all giving miseries. Those won't give happiness in our life. That is previously also a reality. But once again, your kind self can make me to be perfect in that, not to attract with all those things. Just we have to say, that's all. Let them be there. They must not be kept on our head, our mind. So that lesson I felt very happy. And then you have given this eyes, nose, skin, ears, tongue, how the distractions will happen. The examples what your kind self has given. So they are all heart touching. So the awareness is to be developed within ourselves. How the eye, how the nose, how the skin. So if you go on observing all this, the senses, definitely, then alarming will become within our heart only. 100% it will come, and then it educates us. So you fool, you must not, you fool. So and then in addition to that, if we wait, take vow before you, if you've done this wrong thing, that is an aparadha at our end. That is to be get rectification. That is yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
And then this distraction, that is those four marks example your kind self has given me. So kama, moha, krodha, mada. So really these things are materially we can't able to say all these things, but everything is within us, hidden agenda within ourselves. So those things must be get eradicated from our mind.
Mm-hmm.
So for that we have to be strict by taking brooms and sticks. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Really, this is amazing class for me. Thank you very much. So I think what is no in the Bhagavatam, everything is in Bhagavatam. So thing is, we have to see, we have to hear, and we have to practice. I think in first canto, I think second sloka, if you hear Bhagavatam sincerely, there is no need of hearing anything else. So I think second sloka, I think. So for that, you are the great speakers, great personalities, Prabhuji. You have come over here. We have made your pencil was. So I am praying. I am praying very humbly and honestly. Please bless us, Prabhuji. Let the Supreme Lord's grace be always on us. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank
If
you.
if I said any wrong, please excuse me, Prabhuji. Pardon. Thank you.
Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Krishnamurti Prabhuji. Sumangala Mataji, please go on.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. First of all, Granthraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Prabhuji. Wonderful, Prabhuji, your class, and I'm so grateful to you, Prabhuji. Every day, I really want to have the association of Srimad Bhagavatam. But as you said that because of the sense gratification or something, Prabhuji, I could not do my sadhana properly, and I could not attend the classes also. I missed the association, and I could feel the changes in my sadhana and my bhakti so much. Prabhuji, I'm so grateful to you for sharing that monk story, wherein I can relate my life, Prabhuji, with that. I was always behind the others to bring them to Krishna consciousness. It is not possible at all. So we have to be strong in our sadhana. So that's a great lesson, Prabhuji, for me today. Prabhuji, and when Shobha Mataji asked this doubt, like there is a war going on, Prabhuji, internally, the good and the bad. So we know that this is bad. This is not good, favorable for our devotion. But still we are not able to change that, Prabhuji. So what I do is, I don't know, Prabhuji, I just go and do the namaskara, dandavat pranams to the Lord, and ask for help, Prabhuji. So is how I should do that, Prabhuji, practically. So I need your guidance, Prabhuji. Is that what is needed? What I'm doing is enough, or what changes I should do? And whatever Krishnamurti Prabhu said is so true, Prabhuji. I'm very, very grateful to this classes and your association and your guidance. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. I seek your help.
Thank you. Yes, your question was, when these thoughts come, you go and take shelter of the Lord, pay obeisances, ask for help. That is the best thing to say, because Srila Raghunath Das Goswami in his Mana Shiksha, he says that these anarthas, the Shad Ripus, the 6 enemies of the mind, uh, lust, pride, greed, envy, anger, attachment, arrogance, these are actually highway robbers, is what he says. That when you're going on a highway, sometimes the robbers, they stop the car forcibly and then they steal everything, and then we are left stranded. So these highway robbers, they on the highway to Goloka Vrindavan, we will find these robbers who will steal our bhakti. And when the robbers come, what should we do? When the thief comes and steals something, we make a loud noise. Thief, 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 save me, help, help. And then the robbers, then the policemen come, the cops come and stop them. So similarly, we should immediately when these thoughts come, of course, we must we must try to replace those thoughts. But sometimes the more we beat, the more it gets, some thoughts get more powerful. They come back, the mind hits back with much more force. At that time, we just call out, thief, thief, help, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj. Just call out to them. Krishna, all the acharyas. That's why the names of the acharyas, name of Srila Prabhupada, The name of Guru Maharaj, Guru's names, when we call out to them, immediately they come as the cops and they catch the thieves and stop them from stealing our bhakti. So we can follow this instruction of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami as given in Manah Shiksha. We call out to the names of Guru, Srila Prabhupada, the previous acharyas, Krishna, Nrsimha, like that.
Hare Krishna, so wonderful, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. But it just speak your blessings to be able to hear and so patiently hear others, Prabhuji, because I do not have that attitude and quality only. So I just seek that from you, Prabhuji, to have that blessing. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the wonderful guidance. Thank you.
Hare
Dhanwad.
Krishna.
Anita Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Please accept and
Krishna.
humble
Please
obeisances
accept
of
mine
glories
too.
to Srila Prabhupada. What a wonderful class, Prabhuji. I initially missed a few parts of the class, but still I joined a little later. But as soon as I joined, the word I heard is keep quiet. So I was thinking, because there was something going in my mind, and as soon as I joined, I just heard you keep quiet. And immediately after that, you said that you should not find fault in others, rather you should find fault in yourself, and you have to improve yourself, or like how you should do, how you should behave. So I always had this. Thank you so much for that, Prabhuji. So then my mind was like a little peaceful after that, after hearing that. So, but my question is that we always have this six anarthas, and we always say that we have to get rid of that, and that's why we are taking this process of chanting. As you said, it's of course a war. Even Prabhupada has said, right? You are fighting with Maya. You are keeping a war with Maya. So when we chant or when we do even arati also in that case, whenever we do arati or whenever we do chanting, leave it of other situations. But particularly when we do our devotion service, like chanting and doing arati, the mind always thinks about the previous days, the interactions even with the devotees, right? So like this devotee said like that devotee said like that, what I said. So all these things comes in the mind. So I just want a tip or some advice, like how we can get rid of that. So everything what we hear and what we read is just a practical, just a theory, but practically applying is really very tough. So can you just throw light on this?
Yes, that's a very important question, very practical question. Whenever we are performing devotional service, um, all these different thoughts come to our mind. This devotee said this devotee said that about me, and and then we start reacting to them in our mind, even though we don't go to them and say that, but in our mind we say, oh yes, we start arguing with them in our mind. And those actually distract us from devotional service. So that is why the acharyas have actually created rituals for the arti. Like you gave the example of arti, so let's go with that. When we are performing arti, there are certain rituals. We have to do the achman, we have to uh, do the arti 4, 2, 4, 2, 3, 7, and then go to the next deity like that. And there are certain rituals that are given. Those rituals help us stay in the present moment rather than thinking of what happened in the past, who said something, or what I will say in the future. And they stop the chatter of the mind. But because uh, since as a sadhaka we still have bodily consciousness, so wherever the body goes the mind follows. And so if that's why if we follow these rituals, um, we need both ritual and the essence. The essence is we are offering our love to Krishna, but rituals are like the vessel in which we are offering our love. Like if someone comes to our house, we offer them water. One way is we take a hose pipe and put water on their faces and say, drink all you can. But another is you give it in a nice glass and give the water. The issue is not water. The main point is the main point is not the glass, it's the water. But the glass is the vessel in which you give the water so that it can be consumed in a nice manner. Similarly, it's our love that we are offering, but the rituals is the vessel in which we are offering that love, the framework within which we are doing it, within which helps us be in the present moment. So I think especially during artis, if we uh, are mindful that okay, whatever has happened, these thoughts are coming, let it pass through, and focus on what I need to do right now as I'm doing the arti. What is the immediate next step? What am I doing right now? Then these thoughts would not bother us. And sometimes they're just coming, and if we don't give them attention, they will pass away. So we can just do that. But sometimes if those thoughts are lingering, then we have to use Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's method. Beat the mind with the stick and brooms. And if that doesn't work, then we cry out, Krishna, save me! Prabhupada, save me! Nrsingadev! These thoughts are tormenting me. So there are different strategies for different kinds of thoughts. Does that address your question?
Sorry, Prabhu, please go ahead. Sorry.
No, does that address your question?
Yes, Prabhu. I just connected with the thing which you said, and the thief is there. We are shouting, right? Thief, thief, thief.
Yeah.
He will get alerted and he will run away.
Right.
Same way when we are, Prabhupada has said, when some thoughts has, we'll have to chant louder so that the thoughts will go. So that's how I saw when you said that example of the thief. And my second question is that, okay, Prabhu, if I can ask, if we have time.
I'm okay. I'm not sure if there are other sessions.
Okay. So my second question is, Prabhu, thank you first so much for addressing the first question. It was very helpful, but still I really struggle. Whenever we are chanting, like it's just a half a second, you cannot say even half a second. Just 10 seconds or something, 2-3 seconds, the mind, where I can get it back, but then again it goes. So I just tap my mind. So whatever you said, right? So I just try that, but still it keeps on going. So I don't know, maybe by your prayers and blessings and prayers to Lord. Second question is, Prabhu, like about the 6 anarthas. We always say that 6 anarthas are there, we have to get rid of that. And the first thing is like pride. So, and the means like even we are having all these anarthas, but the subtle one is that the enviousness which we have, right? So I feel that enviousness is this very subtle thing that it's not known to us also, but it keeps on going, wandering in the mind. So in that case, Prabhu, my question is like, how to understand that I have this enviousness, and how to so once we understand, we can try to get rid of that, right? So how to contemplate on that, Prabhu?
Yeah, that's a nice question. How to identify that I have that enviousness. Whenever there are different kinds of enviousness, uh, sometimes it's called jealousy, sometimes enviousness. One level of enviousness is that what the other person has, why do I not have that? I'm happy that that person has it, but I also want. That is one level of enviousness. Another level of enviousness is uh, I don't care whether I have it or not. I don't want that person to have it, that quality, or because that person, now I can't do anything, that person has that quality, so I must do something to stop them. So that's a more violent form of enviousness, or aggressive form of enviousness. But if we actually look at that quality, or that possession that that person has, or that wealth, or that beauty, or uh, the ability that that person has, is actually not theirs as well. It belongs to Krishna. If we look little deeper beyond the surface, we'll understand in its originality, it actually belongs to Krishna. Krishna has chosen to loan that gift to this person, whether it be wealth, beauty, knowledge, renunciation, or some ability. And many times we are envious of the ability of the other person, that we have pride that I have. So pride also leads to enviousness. Um, if someone is a book distributor and they don't know, they're not really good at cooking anyways, they will be happy to glorify a cook. But if someone has a pride that I'm a good cook, and another person cooks better, or gets glorified to cook better, then we get envious of that. But the book distributor will not get envious. Book distributor may get envious of some other book distributor. I'm just saying as a example. We get envious of things that we are proud of in ourselves. But our abilities, the other person's abilities that we are so envious of, actually belongs to Krishna. So who are we really getting envious of? Isn't that an expression of envy towards Krishna? And as devotees, that is what is stopping us to go back home, back to Godhead. And so we may say, oh, I'm not envious of Krishna. I love Krishna. I'm just, that person doesn't deserve it. Why is that person having so much wealth? Or even if in terms of devotees, if someone gets some mercy, if some guru, or if we see that person advancing faster, devotees may get envious of their advancement. Devotees may get envious, why is the guru giving them more attention? That's the same envy expressed differently, rather than being happy for the other devotee that, oh wow, they got this mercy. And actually, that's the secret. If we are happy for other devotees when they get mercy, we get the same mercy. If we are envious that, oh, they didn't deserve it, I don't know, but then we block that mercy that was supposed to also come to us if we were happy to them. But anyways, the point being that enviousness is ultimately an expression of envy towards Krishna. We can't say I'm envious of this person, but I love Krishna. No, then if we love Krishna, we love everyone, because we see So whenever we feel that envy, if we go deeper and say, oh, this this person has that wealth or health or whatever, because it's given by Krishna, it belongs to Krishna, not to even this person. And each of us have a unique relationship with Krishna, which can never be taken away eternally by anyone. You have a special, unique relationship which s- someone else does not have. Someone else has their unique relationship with Krishna as a soul, at the level of the soul. So, as long as we are secure in that identity of our relationship with Krishna, then those thoughts will not disturb us. Will those when someone else uh, is more fortunate than us, then we'll be happy for them because we are secure. Our relationship with Krishna can never be taken away. Uh, yeah. So,
Thank you.
so of course, I kind of answered how to get rid of the envy, but your question was more how to identify the envy. So I had explained initially how we can identify the envy, and also the source of that envy is our pride. And sometimes our pride in Krishna consciousness that, oh, I chant 16 rounds, I follow four regulative principles, I'm better than the alcoholic on the streets. That is also pride. We we are more fortunate, but not better than that other person on the street. We're just fortunate we got the mercy. We happened to be at the right place at the right time for some reason. We got the mercy. Now our duty is to share that mercy rather than thinking I'm better than that person. Then we get into all of this unearths. But yeah, I hope that addressed your question.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Yes, of course. In the same class, you said the example of the cooking and the distributor, right? So, whoever is good in one field, then they will get envious if the other person does good. Yes, of course. That is a perfect example, Prabhu. Thank you so much. And when we are getting, and I also like the point when you said that when we are getting envious of someone, it's not that I'm getting envious of that person. I'm getting envious of Krishna. And of course, since I have got enviousness with Krishna, that's why I'm here. So that we have to remember also. So when we get rid of this enviousness, then we can love Krishna, of course. And so till then, it's just only it's just only a lip moment of saying yes, Krishna is a supreme personality of God, and I love him. So that when we have that real love, then that enviousness will not be there. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
one question.
Yes, Prabhu.
We execute everything in this world through our mind and body. Body is the thing which is given the various functions where you work in this world, and mind is the thing which executes. If something is misleading our mind only, something has to lead also. We have to only motivate the mind faculty only. So the whole things are arising from the mind. That's why it is so difficult battle that happens always. Because mind is having its own tendency of sankalpa and vikalpa irrespective of our intentions. It's like it likes something, it doesn't like something. So like that, this liking or not liking also, they crop up just like that with no reason. Just you don't know even somebody passes by, somebody in mind you comment. Why this fellow is like this? Like some other fellow appears like a sadhu, suddenly think so much praising about him. So this when everything arises and spontaneous. Again, from which area we have to actually execute. It is from the same mind where you have to work and correct these things at the same mind which is giving us trouble. It's like so that is why it's difficult, and it is a constant chatter. I don't know whether anybody on this universe can feel their mind is not a charter. It is very peaceful and nothing like charting and disturbance. And always that charts. That is also the inherent nature. Just like I feel just like heartbeats, mind charters.
Mhm.
So in this case, from which area we have to work up to overcome this?
Yeah, that's a nice question. How to overcome the mind's chatter? Actually, when the mind is chatting, Bhagavad Gita says that mana buddhi ahankara, the mind is actually chatting with the intelligence. There's the war going on. That war is going on between intelligence and mind, buddhi and mana. Um, there is the example of the chariot of the body. There are 5 horses which are compared to the senses. The reins on the horses is compared to the mind. The charioteer, the driver of the chariot, is compared to the intelligence who is holding the reins, and the passenger is compared to the soul. And if the horses are going in all different directions, the reins are not controlling the horses, the driver is not strong enough to hold the reins properly, then the chariot would go on a bumpy ride and the passenger would be suffering. But if the driver is strong, the intelligence is strong to control the reins of the mind, which control the senses and the horses, then the chatter will stop, because the direction of control is from the passenger soul to the intelligence charioteer to the mind reins to the horse's senses. If it's the other direction, it'll always be chattering, because the intelligence will try to control the mind is not able is not controlling senses, all of those things. So we have to strengthen our intelligence, and uh, it is said that by reading Bhagavad Gita, we are worshipping Krishna by our intelligence. And if we read the scriptures, here Srimad Bhagavatam, we are actually empowering our intelligence, making our intelligence strong, so that it can, because intelligence can discriminate. The mind is just a dumb collection, storehouse of thoughts and desires. Every moment it'll give 100 proposals of thoughts and desires, but intelligence chooses one. Even right now, in all of your minds, there are hundreds and thousands of proposals that the mind is giving, but your intelligence is saying no, all of that can be dealt later, now sit and hear. And your intelligence is winning. When one of those mind's thoughts wins, you will leave and do something else. So um, it's the chatter that's going is between the mind and intelligence, and the intelligence discriminates. If we empower it with spiritual life, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, it can discriminate what is good for my Krishna consciousness, what is unfavorable for my Krishna consciousness. And the mind may say, do this, do that. Intelligence say, is this good for favorable for my Krishna consciousness? Yes. Okay, do it. Is this favorable for my Krishna consciousness? No. Okay, mind, don't do it. Sit, stop. And the mind still continues jumping around, and the intelligence has to stop it. So if the more stronger our intelligence is, by association of like-minded devotees, strong-minded or strong intelligence devotees, by reading Srila Prabhupada's books, by hearing Bhagavatam, then we'll be able to control the mind. Otherwise, those who don't hear Bhagavatam, before we were devotees, we used to think, oh, whatever is the mind is saying, it's actually me. It's my thought. It's me. I'm thinking of this. Why shouldn't I not do it? Now we understand, oh, mind is another entity. Intelligence is another entity. That knowledge has enlightened us. But otherwise, without the intelligence being strong, if the mind says, okay, I want to go here, the intelligence just follows what the mind says without thinking of the consequences. But the answer to your question is, it's a mind intelligence chatter, and we must strengthen the intelligence by hearing Bhagavatam. Then the chatter will stop, because the intelligence is strong to control the mind.
Very nice, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Wonderful
Hare
explanation.
Krishna.
Prabhuji, I wanted to glorify you more, but I cannot top up what the devotees have said. But I would like to use this platform, Prabhuji, to thank you and Mataji. I came across your Japa workshop sessions on YouTube, Prabhuji, the 10 sessions. And in that one of the sessions, you mentioned about the chanting session. When you're chanting, when you're saying Hare Krishna, I can't find the vocabulary to express, you twirl the bead on your hand when you say Hare Krishna, and then when you say Hare Ram, stay. So I've been using it, Prabhuji, in my chanting session, and Prabhuji, it has helped me a lot. Thank you so much for giving that tip. I had never heard that tip anywhere, Prabhuji, first time. And also I'm grateful for the devotee who got me connected, Prabhuji, Navkishori Mataji from South Africa. She connected me to your YouTube channel. I have one more request, Prabhuji, one selfish request. Prabhuji, I understand that you had the association of Prabhupada's disciple who is in book distribution marathon. I can't recollect his name, Prabhuji. The Prabhuji who's very popular,
Vaisheshika Prabhu.
Vaisheshika. Yes, Prabhuji, I heard that. Prabhuji, can you do one session, Prabhuji, on your YouTube channel also, Prabhuji, to give us tips on book distribution? We'll be so grateful, Prabhuji.
Yes, sure. I mean, yes, I'll be happy to give some tips on book distribution that I've learned from Vaisheshika Prabhu. But Vaisheshika Prabhu you can hear directly from Vaisheshika Prabhu. His enthusiasm is very contagious, and I won't be able to replicate that. But Vaisheshika Prabhu has a lot of YouTube videos explaining how to do book distribution, how to sell the Bhagavad Gita, what things to say while selling different kinds of books. There are videos of him going live on the street and distributing books on the street. So you can hear the conversation that he's having with the people when he's distributing books. So that's the best resource, and better than me sharing it. But yes, as a service to Vaisheshika Prabhu, I'll be happy to share some tips on book distribution. But I would recommend going and hearing directly from him, which he has a lot of YouTube videos on.
I'll look up that, Prabhuji, and I look forward to your session also, Prabhuji, if you could do it. And all glories to your services, Prabhuji, all glories to Mataji's services also. And thank you so much for patiently answering all the questions, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, can I hear what is the tip of the chanting? What Mataji mentioning? What is the tip? Let us be benefited with the tip of chanting.
Prabhuji, Subara Prabhuji, I can post the link also on the WhatsApp channel. It's a 10 session, Japa session. I'll post the YouTube link on our WhatsApp group session.
Thank you, Mata.
Yes, but Prabhuji, I don't want to miss the chance of you saying it. So if you have time, please, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So sorry to interrupt you, but we need to start the next session, Mataji. Malayalam DG class. The participants will be waiting. So
okay, I'm sorry, Mataji. I was not aware. I'm sorry, Mataji. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji, for giving us the association, and do continue to give us.
Hare Krishna.
With your permission, can I end the call, Prabhuji?
Sure. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha
Vancha kalpatarubhyascha
kripasindhuyeva patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, please share that link, Mataji. Chanting.
Yes, Mataji. Yes. I will share.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. I'll end the call, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you.
Krishna.